Our last outing here on Nez Perce Valley in Way the Hunter was as much a scouting trip as it was a hunting trip. We encountered so many 4-stars with insane potential, and hopefully today we can age those up a little bit and get a chance to take a 5-star on Nez Perce Valley with the bow. Now, technically we did get a 5-star pheasant last time, but from the moment this game came out, the idea of taking a 5-star buck with a compound bow has been on my mind. Hopefully today's the day that can finally happen. And to hopefully get us started out on the right foot, we've gone ahead and called in this 1-star mature elk, and I think he's just to that point where the call's kind of running out. So if we go with the 60-yard pin here, going to go no hunter sense, aim a little high, and that's going to drop him in his tracks. Now, we know well enough this bow is just absurdly powerful, so that doesn't have to be a neck shot or a heart shot or anything like that. I think as high as we aimed, it probably didn't dip into the heart, but it would be pretty cool if that's actually what happened there. At 71 yards, it was a heart shot. We'll take that any day. That's the type of shot that I feel like should result in the drop shots. The single lung drop shots from the bow are not my favorite thing, but we had to aim that high. I mean, we were looking at somewhere in here, I think, to make up for that 10-yard difference. Plus the wind in our face, kind of slowing down the arrow just to be able to get into the heart. Not bad. 24%. And frankly, we talked about at the end of the last video, I think we have one more in-game day to pass before an age cycle. So in some ways we're kind of killing time. But I mentioned the scouting aspect of this. We're going to try to get into these areas that we haven't been focusing on as much and just see if there's anything else that's waiting on us. There could be a 5-star out there that would die of old age that we wouldn't otherwise know about if we don't spend the time. Now, because at least the first half of this hunt is going to be a lot of kind of scouting and herd managing, we're going to primarily use the 30-06, which is a little kind of underpowered for elk, but should be enough to get a long shot there and bring him down. We're just going to go prone, I guess, instead of placing a marker, but pretty sure that's going to get him. And despite a fairly long track, bring him down it did. Actually looks like a kind of decent one for a 2-star. Obviously just a left lung shot and required some cavity damage to do the full amount of damage to the left lung. That was a 74%. Good elk genetics up here, so that is probably okay to take, but maybe there was a better option. And we are just getting to about 11 o'clock, so one thing I want to do is jump down here to where we saw some of the better bucks and just make sure aging hasn't already happened, because if it has, we want to take advantage of the full cycle. But I believe we got one more day to go. And if that's the case, we can maybe take out a few more subpar bucks to help whatever kind of respawns when that new day takes over. You know, this hadn't been the plan, but we might try to get that 2-star mature wolf. And part of the reason is, as those mule deer go trotting off, we actually killed a 5-star wolf from here while watching, I think it was our Melanistic mule deer. I believe that was the animal that we kept on coming back here for, and luckily, those deer heard that shot. But they're going to hang around, and that's the particular herd that I actually wanted to go and take a look at, because what I don't see at first glance are big antlers, and I want to say there was a 4-star up there. And there are some promising bucks, a couple of 2-star adults. We'll probably try to get this 2-star mature, and the question is, am I just misremembering? Or is the 1-star young, I think that buck right there, actually the respawn from a 4-star that died of old age? We'll have to check some other areas to find that out. Thought he was going to maybe stay the way he had fallen. Would have made for a really nice trophy shot. But I think we're going to have to go and find another spot. But I was so sure there was a 4-star in that particular herd. So real quick then, our wolf, we did get that skull shot. Ended up with some cavity damage on the brain. 61% for that. And then our 2-star buck is just across the creek. And as gray as he is, and as good as the genetics are here, I think that's going to be a big plus. Double lunged him, 202 yards and a 66%er, which, again, this area, that probably is a real help. We've killed so many 5-stars out of that particular herd, and that's another reason I was thinking there was a 4-star down there. So I know we had 2 4-star whitetail somewhere on one of these creeks. It might have been on this one, actually. Let's just keep going down south here. I'm fairly confident we have not had aging yet, because we've got a 4-star, 3-star, and a 2-star down here, and I'm pretty sure at least that's what we had last time. So we do want to definitely take out the 2-star, get that shot in there before he moves. And I mentioned earlier, wanting to do that before that next day takes over. Essentially, you don't get your respawns or the offspring from the animals in the herds until a new aging cycle happens. Even if you shoot, you know, say 10 whitetail, you don't get the new ones until that next age cycle happens. So in taking out this guy, it should remove the genetics from the gene pool, thus increasing the overall average, and in theory, getting us a better respawn. 57%, not bad, but again, in Diamond Drill, well below average. That's gonna boost things. So kind of hopping around here a little bit, we've got a couple of moose out here with a 1-star mature, and luckily, moose are not as tanky as they probably ought to be, so I think the 30-06, even at 300 yards, should get this guy. Just gotta make sure we place the shot correctly. Look good. Is that aggression? That's a weird direction for him to run. I think this guy is charging us. Just gonna get ourselves into a decent spot. That's totally what's happening. Okay. Oh, is he gonna abandon it? Man, it's a 2-star. So I don't hate that he's gonna get away. He's definitely better genetics than the one that we shot. But I really wanted that to play itself out. Hopefully we got that. We didn't get to mark it because of the charging one. I'm pretty sure it was standing right in there. And I probably shouldn't be surprised by this, but a shorter tracking distance than the elk that we shot earlier. And actually, we see damage to the left lung, whereas the elk was only, I think it was the left lung, but we only got a single lung damage and much more cavity damage on that one. 37%, good to take out. I really wish that other moose had actually charged us all the way. Good to see that behavior. We saw it a little bit with the Alaska moose. Of course, it was our Melanistic, so we couldn't shoot it. But I think that's the first time we've seen any aggression on Nez Perce Valley, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to jump back. We're going to rest at the beginning of drink time again. And hopefully everything ages. I believe we're at that point. And maybe one of those bucks gets to 5-star, if not several. So our first stop here has a 4-star mature, a 1-star adult, and there's another 3-star right back in there. But what I actually think has happened is this was a 3-star that has aged to 4. That was a 2-star that aged to 3. Because I feel like I'm seeing way more 1-star youngs. Like that guy right there, very kind of almost orange in color. That's a 1-year-old deer. So I'm pretty confident we've had aging. Just none of these particular bucks actually got to 5-star. But there's another that was a 4-star down south of here. Hopefully he fares a little better. Man, over 2 down here. That might be the smallest 1-star mature whitetail I've ever seen. So we're going to go ahead and take that. But we've got a high fitness call going. Nothing's walking out of there. So I guess we'll take that 1-star. Continue to benefit these herds. I mean, 4-stars down here obviously mean we have good genetics. Just not quite good enough. So if he'll have to lift his head again, or maybe we can just squeeze that in right there. I want to make absolutely certain that a bigger buck doesn't run out of there, but I don't think there was one. We had 2 4-stars die down here. Now I'm confident of it, because after shooting the 2-star mature from that previous herd, I did come down here. There was a 4-star here. I just didn't see anything that we should definitely take out. And clearly, that 1-star mature, if he was in there, should have been, but might have thought he was a doe, to be quite honest. I mean, to be fair, he is a little bigger than I thought now that we get up close. Actually got the brain. Always good to see that. Not just the skull doing the kill, but 29%. We have had actually worse than that. But I want to say we also had 1 or 2 4-stars down this creek in Diamond Drill. So there's at least 1 more, maybe 2, that we have a chance for. I gotta think 1 is gonna get there. I thought we might be killing 2, 3, 5-stars today. Not so sure about that now. I don't even need the binoculars for this. There is an albino whitetail down there. That's a buck. I think it's a young buck. But that is most certainly a buck. And a couple matures in there. That one doesn't look bad. And I thought I saw... yeah, maybe that guy? Not a super impressive mature. I don't really know where he's going, but we gotta get down there and get at least the age on that. We're still in Diamond Drill, I think, just north of the cabin here. I'm not 100% certain, but if this is Diamond Drill, we might have a little competition for Showstopper. Our 3-star whitetail, our first albino ever, could this guy actually be bigger? Let's go down and see what he looks like. Oh, he's a 1-star young. Alright, we gotta get down there and get a better look. Got a 2-star mature there. I just heard a deer snort at us. There might be another herd down in here, but the reason that is so encouraging is just taking a look at the size of him. I thought he looked kind of decent. He's gonna walk out into the open there. I mean, for a young, I don't think that's that bad. I'd like to get a better look, but in the meantime, there are more deer somewhere here. Now, obviously, the big question is, how far into this kind of young stage is he? Because he is notably uneven. But again, for a young deer, he's not bad. Like, I think that might be the 1-star mature, which I'm not sure we had spotted at first, but obviously having one in there like that isn't the most encouraging thing. So, seems they're going to try to move off. There is a 3-star, which kind of does look like showstopper, and we'll have to see where this ends up, but the 1-star I think we do want to go ahead and take out. Not that it benefits the albino any, but assuming we'll be visiting this herd quite a bit, we could see good things come out of it, you know, if we shoot the deer and not the tree beside it. I don't think we're going to be able to get that guy. That's all good. We don't want to fling a shot and accidentally clip the albino somehow, but I like to see that. We have another rare deer to chase here on Nez Perce. Wait. There's a melanistic mule deer doe in here too. It's a mature. So probably, well, obviously, been here for a while. But I reset the time because I wanted to come up here just for a screenshot. I wasn't even going to include it in the video. Like, I just want to get a screenshot of this albino, probably for the thumbnail, and here we are. I guess maybe a rarely used zone, or they were in a rarely used zone last time. There's a melanistic down here too. So the thing is, the whitetail kind of started to scoot off. I wonder if we could go for a shot here and not spook them. It's close. So this hunt has just about done a 180. We went from trying to target decent bucks to looking at a melanistic doe, and this is like the kudu all over again. We tried to call it in close range, and she's just gonna kind of trot out of here. So I think we'll just take her with the 30-06. Does that spook all the whitetail? It probably does. Looks like that's gonna send them out of here. So I still do want to get a decent screenshot of that new albino, and we'll have to come up with a name for him as well. But pretty darn cool. 2 rares at 1 lake, and they're not 2 rares of the same species. We've seen that, seems like a lot on Tickerman Plains, multiple albino Cape buffalo, multiple leucistic lions in the same group. I don't think that happens too much generally with the other rares, but especially not 2 different species. So we would take a trophy shot, but she's kind of laying in the grass like that and facing downhill. Ended up double lung and artery at 90 yards. A mature, I mean a 200-pounder, not too bad. That may replace, I don't know that it matters, but that may replace the melanistic one that we already have. There is limited like slots for how many things you can taxidermize. I guess they do look the same, so maybe we won't actually mount that. But that's actually really, really cool, and I guess we gotta change the time again? Or maybe we've seen this. What if we just leave and come back? Weirdly enough, that other herd of whitetail that was down here came back, and the mule deer came back. But the herd with the albino is nowhere to be seen, so we'll figure that out a little bit later. As for now, is there anything in here that we definitely want to take? That 2-star mature probably we want to get. I don't think there's a 1-star in this group, and naturally that one had gotten away from us, so let's just kind of scoot up the hill kind of slowly here. We'll go ahead and try to bring this guy down. I heard a twig snap there. I don't know if that was just regular movement or if they were about to flee, but figure we better get that shot in there quickly. We don't need 2 whitetail escaping us. And by the way, full disclosure, I had gotten to the point that it seemed like after checking all the zones, literally every 4-star whitetail that we had potential of getting the 5-star in this cycle had actually died. And by the way, 72% of this lake? Encouraging maybe, for our albino, because this guy's kind of uneven as well. But I was thinking we were just going to try to brute force it. There's a couple of 4-star mule deer. There's that 4-star whitetail that we saw had aged or maybe stayed a 4-star, hard to say, down there like in the southeast. I figured we'd just pass another cycle. And I was just kind of doing more scouting, and here we are, finding 2 rares and another albino whitetail buck. I can't wait to see what he actually becomes. Got a little closer to this herd of mule deer than I meant to with the UTV. A lot of good ones in here. This is public land. There's a 1-star mature. That is, if that guy doesn't make it, I'd be shocked. He is pretty brown as a 4-star, but let's go ahead and get that 1-star. And I think probably we will be leaving this video here. If for no other reason, the fact that we've spent so much time trying to age past another cycle yet, and we've actually got some really good looking stuff here. I don't want to push things too far, and you know, it's easy to kind of speed through age cycles in this game, but very easily, if we had another thing we were looking at already, if our only goal was to get a 5-star with a bow, that albino buck up there, and the melanistic doe for that matter, maybe we never find them. That's not a spot I typically go to. It was just, we had to pass time. I wanted to go to some spots that maybe we haven't checked in on, and there are 2 rares waiting on us right there. So what I'd rather do, instead of just trying to push through and get through a couple more in-game days, is take our time with it, check as many spots as possible, work on our herds, as in taking out a 24% mature mule deer, and hopefully improve the respawns to hopefully one day see a 5-star rare. I don't think that albino whitetail is going to be anywhere near that, especially being uneven as a young, but 3-4-star, who knows? We shall see down the road. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.